Well, here we are at Tatton, the last big show of the season, and once again I've done a Lindley display, but this time I've featured fragrant varieties because Fried Bananas have decided it's going to start showing its beautiful flowers, and they're quite nice and fragranced, except for being overwhelmed by the lily stand beside us. And I've got another gold. I don't know if it's coming out, but yes, I've got another gold. I'm so chuffed. But I've got some vases here with cut flower in from fragrant varieties, a variety of fragrant varieties. And then I'm doing something about sports as well, because Striptease was looking absolutely delicious. So I bought Striptease out, and Snake Eyes, which is one of the newer sports from Striptease, and it actually shows quite neatly how Snake Eyes has got much more white edging the centre streak in the leaf. It's actually a medium variety rather than a large as well, so it's got a couple of variations on the parent. And sort of coming round here, we've got a few plants that I took to Hampton Court, but a mixture of fresh plants and old favourites. And I've got another old favourite here, looking lovely at the moment, Yellow River. Yellow River always looks gorgeous come Tatton. It's one of those plants that seems to store up its best for towards the end of the season. And coming round, and I've got Quilting Bee again. It looks lovely, really sweet little plant. And I've got my bonsai example of Amy Elizabeth, alongside what size it should actually be if it's allowed to grow naturally. And that's the propagation section, looking at soils and division of hostas and so on. Panning round, a little bit about plant heritage again. I think Harry's looking absolutely gorgeous at the moment with all those lovely flower heads popping up. That is another beautiful little variety that does sterling work in the garden. And this Slim and Trim is flowering its head off, and the one that I've got round the corner, the flowers have actually gone over now. And Morning Star, we haven't shown Morning Star before. That's a variety that we've had in the collection for a few years, and we've got some sales stock of it, and I thought actually it's looking lovely, especially in front of a big drinking gourd. That's just something else, that plant. Those leaves are enormous and blue and cupped, and they just get better and better as it matures. And coming around into the container growing section, where I've featured a few more miniatures, as they tend to start looking, they have a second flush this time of year. I quite often do what I call the Tatton trim, a version of the Chelsea chop, but just done after Tatton. But quite often the miniatures can produce a second flush of leaves and look really nice as you go into the autumn. These particular varieties, I've got Limey Lisa here. It's got a beautiful little leaf to it, and Ground Sulphur. It's another little lovely little mini. I've got Hands Up in a different pot this time, though that's a medium variety, and Leather Sheen and the Slim and Trim without its flowers next to Great Escape, and Hush Puppy. And then I put the Coal Scuttle in again with Praying Hands, and in front of that I've got Paradise Puppet, and a little bowl here featuring Illicit Affair with Cheating Heart in the middle and Faithful Heart on the end. There is another plain-leaved variety which is, shows more of the green, called Heartbroken. Unfortunate names, but lovely little plants. And as we come round here, I've got Walk on Thin Ice again before we head back into the fragrant varieties. And for this show I decided to bring Stained Glass, a good old favourite fragrant bouquet, Fried Bananas, and Cathedral Windows at the back there. And that sums up our display for Tatton. I'll just give you a view of the sales table, and you can see some fellow exhibitors' beautiful displays in the background. We're opposite Eversley Grasses, Stan's gorgeous grasses. We're alongside Liz and Chris with their mandevilla. Just scooch down here. And I'll pan round so you get an eyeful of a beautiful tower of lilies, which are kind of out sniffing our stand at the moment because they are really gorgeous. Beautiful display. And I will just give you a little treat. Best in show at this show went to Pheasant Acre for their fantastic gladioli. Doesn't that look stunning? There we go. And that's it from Tatton. Just pan around and give you another little squiz of our part of the marquee. There we go. And that's it from Tatton for 2016.